We had so much to see today, I had to break it into two videos. This video is Tel Hazor and Tel Dan, and it all started with a beautiful sunrise.
Sunrise. Sea of Galilee. Oh my God. Thank you, Jesus.
We first visited Hazor, located in the Hula Valley at the foot of the Galilean mountains. The Bible states that King Jabin of Hazor, he went out at the head of the alliance of the Canaanite cities to fight against the settling Israelite tribes led by Joshua. Joshua was victorious, which led to the destruction and the burning of the city, and that's stated in Joshua 11, verses 1 to 12. Mickey gave us a great teaching on the history of this particular city.
The palace, you are in the palace. You'll notice huge columns, right? Huge columns that were here, and an old cut, quite a large old part that was here before. So you can imagine. By the way, can you see the shrubs growing here in this little area? This is a huge water reservoir, water cistern, like in Beersheba, bigger though, okay, where they kept the water, So you can imagine it's quite a large city. It's a large city, and the reason it is a powerful and wealthy and large city is because of its location. It's located on a very important trade route called the Via Maris, okay, that connected Egypt and Mesopotamia. And can you see the mountains and the highway that we're driving on? This is an ancient highway. You and me are driving on the ancient route. The only thing is, remember, no McDonald's, no gas station, no light, no asphalt, nothing like that, but a road. Yes, there was a road, and that's a very important road. And Hazor controls not the whole road, but part of this important road on the way to Damascus. On the way to Damascus. See, on this side, it would be a Jordan River, where the Jordan River is, swamp, a big swamp. So you can't really travel. So your traveling is limited to the bottom of the hill. You can't travel on top of the hill, but see how inconvenient it will be? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? What you like to do is what? We're forward. That's what you will like to do. And so that's the road, that's the highway that we're using now. And this highway is controlled by this city. You cannot pass it unless you pass this city. Is it good or is it bad? Well, it's good for your trade, right? But then you have to pay a fee, etc. That's how economy works, and that can be beneficial. And that's why the king here was a very strong king. Now the reason I like it, the reason I like to come here is something like that. The spies would see. Remember Moses sent spies to spy out the land, and what did they say? Giants. Yeah. Remember giants? Right? But literally, this is, look at those columns, huge columns, huge buildings, big altars, big walls, big water systems. And this is really big kingdom that was here. Right? So you can think, because what you see here predates Joshua. Predates, the city was here before. And it looks like you can see those mud bricks are really, really in a good shape. And it says, in uniform, please do not touch. No, well, this is obviously not ancient. This is more, but it's a good, it's a good illustration for how the ancient bricks look like. All right, that's what the Hebrews were forced in labor in Egypt. Okay, they did not build the pyramids, but they built cities with the bricks. Yeah.
So the Israelites are still making bricks?
The site is the bricks that were used for construction of cities, storehouses, warehouses, buildings, whatnot in Egypt. That they were excavated those areas, and that's what we think they look like. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing, Canaanites. If we can say a couple of words about the Canaanites. What were they? In other words, the people that lived here. What kind of people lived here? They were Western Semitic people, but they were also some other nations that also migrated here. Hittites, for example. Okay, and now we'll learn more about the Hittites. They came from Turkey. Hittites lived in, it was an empire in Turkey. In the days of Joshua, the Canaanites here, they did not have one empire. Like Egyptians had an empire, Babylonians had an empire, but the Canaanites did not have an empire. All right, they had city-states. City-states, in other words, that would be the city of Hazor, and it will be also a kingdom. So the city of Hazor will control some of the agricultural areas, right? And then another city like Gishur, yesterday, remember Bethsaida, ancient Gishur, another city, Jericho, another kingdom, etc., etc. So those were the city-states. They did not have one king, but each city had a king. Each city had a king, and in this city there was a dynasty of kings, and we know they were called Jabin or Yavin in Hebrew. Jabin in English. There was a dynasty of kings in this particular city. We meet this dynasty twice in the Old Testament. One that when Pat read to us, the battle with Joshua, king of Hazor, Jabin, fought with Joshua, was killed. Right? And another story from the same dynasty, another Jabin from the same dynasty, fought with Deborah. Remember, famous battle with Deborah. Okay. All right. Also, king of Hazor, but another king from the same dynasty that usually have numbers 1, 2, 3, 12, 15, 18, all that. We just don't know which number that one is. Okay. So, what is particularly interesting from the excavations here is this, and I will finish with this, but you can see that very clearly. Can you look behind you? Can you see the dark or black sign over there? Right? See over there too? The black line? Right? Kind of dark, kind of black. What do you think that can represent? Fire. Fire. Yeah. That represents fire.
This darkened line here?
Yeah, dark line there. And that's what I wanted to read. Pat started to read to us from Joshua 11. Right? And I would like to finish his reading here. Joshua conquered this city. And then it goes like this. After that time, Joshua turned back. He took Hazor, that's where we are, and put its king to the sword. Hazor had been the head of all the kingdoms. And that's Pat. That's all the funny names that you read, right?
Yeah.
All the difficult Hebrew names.
About
right?
7 of them, yeah.
7 of them, the different names of, different kingdoms.
Yes, sir.
Hazor was the largest city because of its location on the highway here. Okay? So, everyone in it, the Jews put to the sword, they totally destroyed them, not sparing anyone that breath, and they burned Hazor itself. It says they burned Hazor itself. Isn't that interesting? That's the only city that they burned.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the sign of that fire. That's quite amazing that the archaeologists were able to uncover that. You can see the sign of that fire that took place 3,400 years ago. 3,400 years ago, right? That's the sign of the fire that Joshua, because it's too big of a city. Joshua was afraid that this city can harm the Hebrews, if they come back. Joshua took all the royal cities and their kings and put them to the sword. He totally destroyed them, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. Yet Israel did not burn any of the cities built on their mount, except Hazor, which Joshua burned.
On our way to the next site, we went to the top of Israel and looked over at Lebanon. The area of Dan was so beautiful. The Dan River is snowmelt for Mount Hermon. It's a major tributary to the Jordan River. And we had a chance to see 3 different sites in this particular area.
Still blocked up with mud, so they took that out. The gates themselves might collapse, so they left the mud in the middle. But you can see the majesty of them. And there's the steps leading up to the city gates, you know.
Yeah.
So all that was buried and they excavated.
Yeah, it's all been excavated. Really a
They
find.
must have been little people.
And then Mickey refers to a story that's in Genesis chapter 14, verses 11 to 17, where Abraham gets some intelligence that helps him go out and rescue his nephew Lot and his family.
Much about what happened here, but he apparently was able to find out some very, very important intelligence information, and went to the north, to the opposite side, to the north, to Damascus, and probably made an ambush to the king of Damascus and was able to recover Lot and his family.
The next site at Dan is the place where King Jeroboam erected a golden calf. And Mickey talks about that next.
You can see that the archaeologists found just the foundation, but by the foundation they think it would be this size.
Wow.
Right? And but you can imagine that people will bring the animals up to here. The animals are slaughtered outside. Then they're washed in a basin. There's a small basin on the right. They're washed. Then the priests are using those steps on the right side. Can you see the beginning of the steps on the right? And they will eventually get up on the altar. What is on the altar? Fire. A big fire. They will cut the animal and roast it. They will burn some bits and pieces. They will roast the other parts, give it partially to the family, and partially they will eat themselves. They will eat it in the area over there. Can you see the priestly areas over there? That's where they will eat the animal, and this is where the priest did incense, burn incense there. And this bima, it's a bima platform on which the golden calf was seen, and that's what we would like to talk about. Right? He begins to rule the northern coalition, the northern tribes, a new country called Israel, unlike the southern country called Judah. All right, and he was a very capable ruler, very capable ruler, and he was able to maintain in his hands the military power, the administrative power, the economic power, but he was lacking one element that would make his rule complete, stable. What do you think that was? Religious power. Why? Because the center of the Jewish religion was not in his kingdom, but where in Jerusalem, in the southern kingdom of Judah. And that worried him all the time, that it can eventually pull the carpet out of his feet, so to speak. Okay? And so what do you do about it? What he decided to do about it. That's what we read, and I would like to do a quote here and read to you from 1 Kings 12. Let me flip the pages here. Since I don't have a deacon to do that, I have to do it myself. But I'm fortunate. I have division into books, chapters, capital letters, and I even have Jesus' words in red.
Wow.
Okay, 12 of the 1st Kings. Jeroboam, verse 26, thought to himself, the kingdom will now likely revert to the house of David if this people go up to offer sacrifices at the temple of their Lord in Jerusalem, and they will again give the allegiance to their Lord Rehoboam, king of Judah. They will kill me and return to King Rehoboam. Does it make sense? Yes, it does. Okay. After seeking advice, the king made 2 golden calves. He said to the people, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Here are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. One he set up in Bethel, and the other one he set up in Dan. How about that? Okay, guess what you are?
Faced east, west, east.
Yeah.
I think you kind of went east. I think that was the big deal. But and look at the carving still in it. I mean,
Yeah.
look at this elaborate carving and stuff. Like,
Wow.
as far back and just where are we back? We're back about 900 BC.
900 BC?
Yeah, 900 BC, and here it is, and you're taking a picture of it. So there's just no gold cap on it.
But then it turned into a Jewish settlement. Why is the God the statues there?
The archaeologists put it back up.
Ah, okay. So they didn't completely... Would build his city under an oak tree, and there it is. And the king of Dan would conduct business in the city gates, which is where we are. And he would sit over here, right behind where that lady is, standing there. And the poles would hold the canopy. There's 4 of them, that one there and the one in the back.
Part 2 of the video is Caesarea Philippi and looking over into Lebanon and Syria.